But even though you have three fractions, it's like you have two separate questions. You have one question in the blue where you have x over 4 equals 1/2. And you have one question in the red where 1/2 equals y over 8. Then you can solve the two separate questions. And then you can get your answer. So any method now, it's up to you which method you choose. Please answer question number 2. Finish off question number 1. So question number 1, you should get 4 and 2. In question number 2, you should get 4 and 10. So question number 2, 4 and 10. So what if, though, the fraction you know is not in the middle? So 1 over 9, where you know the top and the bottom, is in the middle. Well, what we can do is just move it to the middle, and then again, we would have our two separate questions. So we have y over 27 equals 1 over 9, and I mean 1 over 9 equals 1 over 9, and also equals 3 over x. And really just split them up, two equal questions. So again, now solve for x and y. Go. Okay, so we should get what? 27, okay, for x and 3 for y. Okay, go ahead, do the next one. Okay, so for number 4, we get x equals 2, y equals 7. Any questions? Okay, just do 5 and 6 and then you're done. And then we'll go on, okay? 5 and 6. So today's notes, we're looking at similar triangles. Not equal, but similar. And we use that to describe anything that's just been enlarged or reduced. Okay, so the two triangles keep the same shape, which means they have the same angles as before, but their side lengths are different sizes. So they've been enlarged or reduced. The triangles are similar, not equal, but similar. For similar, we use a little S sign instead of an equal sign. So we can say triangle box is similar to triangle dog. Okay, dog. So it's just a little squiggly line, similar to. Okay. We can use the known measurements to set up ratios and or proportions. Which are the scale, which is the scale factor. Okay. So basically, ratio, scale, scale factor are used to find the missing sides. Now here's a rule that has to be memorized. Triangles are similar if they have equal angles. Or corresponding sides make equal ratios. Now, to be honest with you, we usually don't use the word corresponding, we'll say sides, but it should be corresponding sides, because the sides must match up. Large with large, small with small, medium with medium. Now let's talk about some basic triangle ideas. Angles, which are corners, vertex, or vertices, are labeled with capital letters, or uppercase. Okay, they must be the big letters. They can also be labeled with 3 letters. So for example here, if I have A, B, and C as a triangle, I can say angle A, or the exact same way I can say angle BAC, or I can call it angle CAB. Right? So just review, how do we label letters? That's how we label them. Capital letters for the corners. That's different than the sides. The sides are labeled with lowercase letters. Okay, so it must be the small letters. But they can also be labeled with 2 capital letters. So here, if I have triangle TOP, if capital T is in the top corner, put your pencil there and draw an arrow to the opposite side. That side must be called little t. Okay. Now, little t also equals what other name? OP as 2 capital letters. What's the other name for TP? I'm not saying toilet paper here. Put your pen, well, here's the side. Yeah, it's little o. Okay. And what's the other name for little letter P? Yes, I carefully said that one. Yeah, TO. Okay. Or OT. I guess I'm going to peek her STO. Oh, TO is better, sorry. Alphabetical, right? Any questions? Okay, quit yawning. So, corresponding sides. Here we have triangle box. Let's say BOX. Oops. Now, because angle BO and CA are the first 2 letters, that means their sides correspond with each other. Okay? And since OX and AT are the last 2 letters in that position of the name, they must correspond. What other sides correspond? Well, the 2 capital letters on the outside. BX corresponds with CT. Now the angles correspond as well. So angle B corresponds, whoops, I should erase this, should not be an equal sign. Major error, sorry. OX, and this would be BO. Okay. You can just put a dash there if you want. Corresponding, angle B must be equal then to angle C. They're corresponding. What angle corresponds with O? Yeah, angle A, because they're both middle letters. And X corresponds with angle T. So if this is box, I'm going to call this cat. What we can do is mark the angles the same. I flipped this triangle on purpose to make it a little more difficult. So if B is marked with a dot, since C must be equal, it should be marked with a dot as well. If O is marked with an open circle, A must also be marked with an open circle. So if those 2 letters, those 2 angles are equal, the third angles must be equal as well. Right? Because they'll have to add up to 180. Okay. So let's talk about triangles. Determine if each pairs of triangles are similar. Are these first 2 triangles similar? Why? Good, because angles are equal or same. So what we want to do now is match up the lengths to find the ratios. Which triangle do you want on the top, the left or the right? Right? And then the left triangle will go on the bottom. So on the right triangle, we got 4.2, 4.5, 1.65. Now we have to match up the sides. So, which one's the smallest side on the left triangle? 1.1. Where do you think it should go under? Yeah, exactly. So you should match them up that way. Largest side? 3. Where should that go? Yep. And smallest? Sorry, middle? 2.8. Okay. So on your calculator, please divide these and see what you get. So when we divide all the sides, we get the same number. So what we're saying here, or what this is showing us, is that corresponding sides are in equal ratios, or have equal ratios. Okay. Let's look at the next example. Can we say these two triangles are similar? Not yet, can we? We don't have enough information on the angles. So what are we going to have to do? Check the side ratios. Okay. Which triangle do you want on the top? Okay. And which one do you want on the bottom? Has to be. Okay. So match up the right. On the right, let's go small, medium, large, just because. And then do the same with the left. So that this corresponding, guess what the word corresponding means? Corresponding sides match up. Go. So what goes under 2.5? What goes under 4? And 3.3. So on your calculator, ooh, we get some weird stuff, don't we? Here we get 0.925. What about the other one? 4 divided by 3. Oh, 1.3 repeating. So do we even need to do the next one? No. So we can say they are not similar because corresponding sides are not, and underline the word not, in the same ratio. Okay. If you want, you can write out corresponding. That's fine. I won't stop you. Okay. Any questions with that? So if you didn't know enough about the angles, but you got like we had up above, where they're all equal the same number, then you could say they are similar triangles because corresponding sides are equal or are in the same ratio. Oscar, question? Okay, turn it over. So now we're going to do a slightly different take on it. Now we're going to find some information. So, which triangle do you want on the top, which one on the bottom? All right on the top, left on the bottom. So we can start now by having our three fractions equal. For the right triangle, let's put down x 1.9 and 2. The problem is we don't know which one's the largest because we don't know what x is. So what we have to do is look at the name. Oh, did I screw that up? Do you guys want left on top or? Okay. So you can kind of look ahead. Since x is in the left one, it's easier if it goes on top. But you're going to get some questions tomorrow where they're all over the place. So don't be too concerned about it. But today, go ahead and look for it. Okay. So GI is x. So what side matches up with GI in the name? KL. KL is the first two letters, just like GH. So I said GI, you're right. GH, I'm talking about GH here. So GH is the first two letters, KL is the first two letters, 10 goes underneath X. Then 1.9 is HI. So what side matches with HI? LM. Now this one's easy because the triangle's not twisted or flipped. Okay, but you got to be careful for the flipping triangles because they're a little bit harder to look at. So then we have GI matches with KM. So if you don't know all the side lengths, you got to go by the names or look at the angles. Okay, we're not given the angles yet. All right. So you have a choice. You can use 1.9 over 7.6 or 2 over 8. Doesn't matter. I don't feel like working with decimals, so I'm going to use 2 over 8. But they'll both give you the same answer. I'll show you. Go ahead, solve for x. x equals 2.5. And if you do the other way, you get 20 over 8. X, I believe, is 2.5 again. Any questions? So you just pick which one. You don't have to do both. I just wanted to show you both methods. Okay, sometimes your triangles are going to overlap. What you want to do is draw your large one again and put the measurements on there. Please write the measurements on the large triangle correctly, please. Go. What you're going to have to do is add the sides up so you get the full measurement, not just the piece. So this one at the bottom should be 15.9. The top one, whoops, 8.7 plus, whoops, 10.5, 19.2. Okay, so which one do you want on the top? Which triangle? Big or small? Big. Okay, yeah, sometimes we use big, small, sometimes left, right. Sometimes top, bottom. Okay, so the big one, x 15.9, 19.2. Doesn't really matter which way you write the order though. Now match it up. Go. Round to the nearest what? What should I round to? What should I round to?
The whole number.
Read the question. What should I round to? 10th. Oh my goodness, you guys. 9.9. Okay. All right. Any questions? Okay, next one, word problems. Always draw diagrams, but for today they'll be given to you in the textbook. So there's the sun shining down on Earth. There's Earth. Here's poor Cam. Stopped going to class in grade 12. Failed out. Horrible situation. His shadow's on the ground because he's so depressed about doing so poorly. And his shadow is not here. It's not suspended in air. It's on the ground, 2.5 meters. Okay. Always find your shadow on the ground. Just ask Peter Pan. Okay, so Cam is 1.5 meters tall. That can go over here. Now he's looking at this tower, which is amazing. It's such a beautiful sight. He's in Italy. And, ooh la la, there's a shadow as well on the ground. The shadow, he measures it to be 5.8 meters. And now he's like, but I really want to measure the tower. How tall is it? So this time, you're only going to have two fractions. Right? Now, which side corresponds with x? Yeah, they're both going the same direction. Okay. And which side corresponds with 5.8? 2.5. Good. Find x, make a sentence. Go. So your sentence is, tower is 3.48 meters tall. Or 3.48 meters, that's fine. Nice. Put a little box around it, easy to see, easy to find. Any questions? No.